Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. So this whole time you'll be discovering what salvation really is and trying to make sense out of it. So as much as this is about actually trying to converse with God in the sense of revealing to you what salvation is very helpful. Definitely expecting answers is part of it, as if the solution is already there, right? And the salvation had already been achieved. So it's a little tricky because we like to misunderstand everything that's being said. But remember how, just kind of naturally, remember how we talked about grievances and definitions and resentments and upsets and ideas about ourselves are actually keeping us from seeing the world as it actually is? So this kind of gets into that same sense again, but likely, if you're misunderstanding the lesson, you're most likely thinking that this is about grievances against other people. Like, say you're using them as a reason to be upset. That is good. That is right. Yes. First time around, okay to be doing that. But essentially, we want to actually keep recognizing that not only are they revealing what grievances we have, but that the grievances are keeping us from actually recognizing the world as it actually is. Notice how this is titled Holding Grievances is an Attack on God's Plan for Salvation, and yet it goes off talking about bodies. Why is it going off talking about seeing yourself as a body? And to all of the bodies this, the bodies that. Think about it. Because grievances literally make bodies. Like they're definitions of your mind. Now, the idea of grievances is that you have an excuse to be upset. Like you put it on something and you are grieving it, not like grieving just that someone died, but in the sense that it is upsetting to you. It upsets you. So this is actually that you have displaced the authority in which the situation occurred. Your authority. So when you actually recognize your responsibility, you and the authority in which you are, you also join and connect with the salvation of where the solution to all situations and answers are. And the whole world completely changes because of what you have stepped into, the position of what you are as the center of the universe. So you can't see that until you actually step into the place of it. So yes, you seem like it's a crazy idea, this is insane, but the whole experience of, even if you say that, well, no, Jesus is that. That's what Jesus is. Think about it and recognize it as Jesus was the example. Jesus achieved recognizing himself as that center of the universe and saw the world as the spiritual essence of its realities, the spiritual universe. So you want to follow, and what this is about is following the example of Jesus to discover that same experience and same truth. So you have to, in that sense, kind of take that faith, but in the same taking the steps to actually achieve and recognize that reality. Not as if it's somebody else's responsibility, but your own. So you're actually joining with the identity of what identity of referring to what is God. So only God's plan of salvation will work because of what the God is. Like what the totality of authority is, of course that will only work. So as far as the plan is, again, following those steps, you're asking for the steps of what to do, where to go, to discover the truth of your reality, the truth of your authority. So when you do that and you recognize that, yes, then it all kind of falls into place because you're actually seeing the spiritual universe. Now, I'm talking about a transparent, illuminated reality. So that gets into something that seems pretty far out and extreme to a lot of people, but really that's what this is about. We're using these words, not only Christian terms and masculine pronouns, but also the ideas of forgiveness and resentments and grievances are all words that can be misunderstood by this little ego, but helpful enough to start confronting itself. So it's actually talking about deeper essence of reality than what seems to be, oh, I just need to forgive my neighbor. Yes, forgiveness of my neighbor, to actually do that does take you into a deeper level of resonance with the universe to discover a greater interpretation of this. And that's when you start, as you do different things, you start realizing, recognizing this communication with God is here constantly, always, and forever. So it's something that's pretty phenomenal. And I just wanted to make sure I touch base on, what is salvation, Father? I do not know. Tell me, that I may understand. So in that sense of what I'm referring to is because if you think salvation is just forgiving, say, grievances in the sense of resentments and bothersomes with other people, yes, that's great. It might be in the sense of that you then can find love and be in the community. That's very helpful, yes. But in the sense of taking it even farther to literally seeing the spiritual universe. So yes, you don't understand that. Let's admit it, right? You don't understand that. That's why you're doing this course. That's why you're in bodies. That's why you're in this world, right? You don't understand what the spiritual nature of the universe is. Let's admit it. That's okay. Now we can actually, it's better even to admit that you don't understand it, because then you can actually ask, because you actually want the answer. Oh, I have no clue what that is about. No idea what this wholeness thing Devin's always talking about. No idea what this spiritual universe, transparent, illuminated essence of reality. Are you kidding me? I have no idea. Please tell me, Father. Teach me. Show me. Guide me. Lead me. I want to know you. I want to know you. It's kind of been in your life all the time, and you don't always recognize it, and it's kind of, you look past, or you look in the past again as you come to know more of it, and you're like, wow, it's always kind of been there, and it's kind of leading me, but I didn't realize it. I didn't know what it was, and I've been denying it this whole time. I've been kind of pushing it aside. I have all these other goals in life, all these other ideas I want to achieve, all these other things, or these people, or whatever it might be. I'm starting to open my mind to recognizing the call. There's a few lessons ago talking about, at least you're doing the lessons. This shows something. This shows that you're actually willing to learn, right? You're actually willing to discover the truth. That's great, even this far along, right? You're being opened as you are being open.